Hello, Ashram here and welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. Let us continue. What is going on?
源氏さんあたりがあの肖像画のごついドレスを着てマリアに傘を持って行ってやったっていうのか
Yep, it was definitely cross-dressing Genji. Yep, can confirm.
そんなことは知らねえぜ。
I'm sure you're hiding how you know that he's quite famously a cross-dresser.
私が聞きたいくらいさ。
Jessica shrugged jokingly, but her expression didn't completely match her attitude. Once the hors d'oeuvres were set out and Gordo showed off his vast store of knowledge, the meal began. A couple casual chats broke out here and there, but they seemed somehow distant. And the meal ended up being so quiet that you couldn't ignore the sound of the rain sneaking into the dining hall. It's nice when it's a relaxing silence with the rain, pitter-pattering. Anyway, Kumasawa and Shan, pushing the serving cart, ran to Genji and Kanon on the way to the kitchen.
源氏さんですか？マリア様に傘を貸されたのは。
傘何のことだ？
はい。雨が降り出した時に、マリア様は一人でバラ庭園におられたそうで、そこでどなたかに傘をお借りになったそうなのですが、それがどなたかわからないのです。
The other possibility, technically, although I know Mario would not actually be inclined to follow through with it, is if it's some kind of thing planned by Maria and her mother. Because technically it could have been a umbrella which they brought with them. However, with all the other stuff which we just had, I highly doubt it.
僕じゃないよ。マリア様はゲストハウスにいると思ってたくらいだからね。バトラ様が最初に見つけられた時にはもう白い傘をお持ちだった。
申し訳ないが、それは私でもない。
じゃあ、まさか、親方様。
No. Both in the dining hall and right here, everyone had stated that they hadn't done it. I left only Kinzo, but...
何かのご用で廊下を歩かれているとき、偶然バラ庭園に傘もささないマリア様が見えたとか。
Let's be honest. He wouldn't be walking down the corridor. I'm sure he's got like a bathroom in his office or something. Or his room. Yeah, he's probably got an ensuite. Because, yeah, I doubt that he's leaving that room for any reason at all. Until the day he... Oh, except for Beatrice, I guess.
親方様はマリア様のことをあまりお好きではない。
That's one way of saying it.
同感だね。親方様がマリア様のために直々に開花までお越しになって傘をお持ちくださるとは考えられないよ。
But Beatrice does because Maria believes.
あら、困りましたわね。では、マリア様に傘をお貸しになられたのは、本当にベアトリーチェ様ってことに？
Kumasawa laughed, just like the relatives in the dining hall who had laughed it off. She couldn't think of any other way to break through the smoke veiling the current situation. Just then, a crisp sound of hands clapping twice rang through the hallway. They all turned around at once to see Gordo coming out of the dining hall.
さあさあ皆さん、ディナーは配膳のタイミングも大事です。すぐにスープの配膳に取り掛かってください。源氏さん、彼女らは大切なお仕事中ですので、お引き止めになられないでください。
Though, if anything, the ones that got in his way. Canon glared at Gordo for being rude to Genji, a person Canon respected. Genji, realizing this, patted Canon once on the shoulder as a warning. Canon reluctantly turned away and returned his expression to normal.
ゴーダの指示に従いなさい。 今は晩餐の配膳を急ぐように。
ほらほら、時間がありません。タラタラしない。急ぎますよ。
Golda grabbed the serving cart from Shannon and steadily pushed it towards the kitchen.
では私どもも厨房に戻らせていただきます。幸田さんも気の短い方ですからね。
私もこれで失礼いたします。
Kumasawa and Shannon left. Only Genji and Cannon remained. Through the window, the darkness of Iranian night could be seen, along with the occasional thunderbolt. Oh?
源氏様、ベアトリーチェ様が本当にお戻りになられたのでしょうか。
わからん。
親方様にお知らせしますか。
せずともよい。本当にお戻りになられたなら、やがておのずと親方様の前へ現れよう。それにあれは気まぐれなお方。親方様にご報告申し上げたところでお姿を現されないことには何の意味もない。
親方様の儀式はすでに始まっているということでしょうか。
おそらく。だがそれは我ら家具には何の関わりもないこと。
Well, it definitely feels like they more than just believe, they have like evidence that she's real, not personal experience of it.
親方様に受けたご恩を最後の瞬間までお返しするのみだ。
Why do they call themselves furniture?
はい、
Perhaps that actually has something to do with Beatrice.
それが僕たち家具の務めです。
The thunder crashed once more, except for those instants when lightning lit up the sky. Nothing could be seen out the window but the darkness of night. Just as humans rule when the sun is up, those that are not human rule when the sun is down. The darkness of night that now surrounded Rokkenjima was ruled by another master, not the Ushiromiya family. Did this master take pity on Miriam when she was alone and being pummeled by the rain of the rose garden, lending her an umbrella? Or is it to announce her presence? Cannon looked at the rose garden's lights, dimly visible beyond the window. The dim lights weren't enough to illuminate the surrounding area. Looking at those lights felt like making eye contact with the witch, and Cannon forced himself to avert his gaze. If he didn't, it felt like his eyes would be absorbed by that light. And into the light. Can the weather change how people act? Yes. You often hear stories about how things like atmospheric pressure can influence people's moods and physical health. For some time now, everyone had been struggling to clear the gloomy atmosphere. But any conversation was quickly cut off, and in the end the dining hall was simply filled by the sound of rain. Dessert was some kind of chocolate cake, accompanied by pear sherbet. Goda-san enthusiastically explained the recipe as soon as his final dish was presented. But I quickly forgot the details. Poor Goda. But on the other hand, it's Goda. The guest of honor, grandfather, was absent. The weather was horrible, and the identity of the one who'd lent Maria an umbrella remained a mystery. Dinner ended. No one felt even one bit refreshed. It was too late now, but I realized painfully that taste wasn't the only important part of the meal. The whole atmosphere was also critical. Goda-san, the supposed conductor of this musical piece called Dinner, did his best to enliven the place, dropping little jokes left and right, but apparently not one of them succeeded. After taking orders for after-dinner coffee, tea and orange juice, he left for the kitchen. As soon as he disappeared, Uncle Kraus spoke.
やれやれ。せっかくゴーダが腕を振るってくれた晩餐もこうも沈み込んでしまっては実に味気ないというものだ。
まったくね。今日は何を食べても美味しく感じられない、そういう気分よ。
Pity.
ほう。 どうしてそういう気分なのか聞きたいね。心が晴れ晴れできるよう、兄として後で協力させてもらうよ。
Yeah, I don't trust that at all. Aunt Eva grimaced slightly. I'd already heard she wasn't on good terms with Uncle Cross, but it was pretty clear now. When I looked around, I noticed that my father and Aunt Rosa were also grimacing. Apparently, there was something besides the weather troubling all of them.
エヴァおばさんもうちの親父もずいぶん機嫌が悪そうっすね。
そう？私はそうは思いませんよ。
Oh. I asked Aunt Natsuhi, who was sitting on my right, but she seemed to be in a bad mood as well. She snapped back as if to say she was absolutely not interested.
まあ、ちょいと大人な話で込み入ってな。バトラ君たち子供は気にせんでええ話や。なあ、夏日さん、キリエさん。
Uncle Hideyoshi laughed as he spoke, without his usual brightness. So I could vaguely imagine just how complicated their adult conversation had become. On top of that, even Aunt Natsuhi and Kiria-san, the people he had directed his comment to, ignored him as though they hadn't heard anything. Ooh, I didn't know what kind of conversation they'd been having while us kids were away. But it reminded me of how Dad said he had stomach cramps when he arrived at the mansion. Family conference might have been a playful reunion to us kids, but it was definitely different for the adults. After Uncle Hideyoshi's comment was ignored by the other adults, and an awkward silence fell over the room, Kiria-san spoke up.
子供たちの進路はどうなるのかしらとか、そういう話よ。バトラ君は将来はどうするの？ぼんやりと大学進学？そんなのじゃ長い人生レースのスタートラインとしては心細いわよ。
あいたたたたたた。キリエさん、飯の最中にそんな話されちまったら消化不良で便秘になっちまうぜ。
そうやそうや。バトラ君やジェシカちゃんの進路の話をしとったんや。将来のことは真剣に考えんとあかんで。
Hideyoshi heartily agreed, as if they really had been talking about that, but that was probably wrong. Kirie had been obviously trying to change the subject. However, if Kirie-san had determined that this was the best course of action for now, then she was probably right. Taking this into account, I cast aside my suspicions as to the cause behind Aunt Eva and Dad's bad moods. At long last, the serving cart returned, filled with coffee and tea. And orange juice? Kumasawa-san and Shannon-chan served it to everyone. Gordo-san then explained that this concluded tonight's meal. If only the mood had been a bit more cheery, it might have been the best dinner in my life. It was a shame this best of dinners couldn't have been had under the best conditions. Well, there's someone who's enjoying it at least. Yeah, it's like a nice drizzle looking outside. No, it doesn't look particularly stormy, just grey and drizzly.
うん。これでおしまいだよ。
はしてないわよ。お席について落ち着いてジュースを飲みなさい。
Yep, we can't leave the table early. Maria looked like she was really excited by the occasionally crashing of thunder. Maybe she wanted to quickly finish heating up and run over to the window. She'd been fidgeting for a while, waiting for the meal to end. Some people are afraid of thunder, while others find it interesting. Mira was apparently one of the latter sort. Now, just a thought here. Is she also, treating it like Beatrice has arrived? Is that why she's excited with the thunder? Anyway, therefore, when she heard from George and Nikki that dinner was over, a huge smile broke across her face. Then she rose from her seat, took out her handbag, which she'd set under her seat, never having left us even while she was eating, and began fishing around inside of it. No one seemed particularly concerned by this behavior.
なんだい？それはどこから持ってきたの？
Oh. George was the first to notice it. As he spoke, Battler noticed it too. they saw that Maria was holding a beautiful Western-style envelope. I have seen this picture before, like this, and I did recognize, like, after I started playing Umineko, and I did recognize the seal. However, they were saying, like, I forget who it was. I think they were saying, like, Bachelor has joined, uh, Smash. Because they have, like, that kind of envelope thing when they introduce a new character on Smash. Do they call them characters? I don't play Smash enough. Anyway, on the front of the envelope, the Ushiromia family crest, the one-winged eagle, was done in gold leaf. Furthermore, the fact that it was sealed with dark red wax made it clear that this wasn't something Maria could have brought as a prank.
マリアちゃん、それは何？
The ring was thrown. That could have the seal on it. Although it was thrown out when it was already stormy outside, so to use that ring then to put on the letter would have to be done inside afterwards, so that the letter wouldn't be drenched. It seemed that Natsuhi had also noticed the strangeness of the envelope Maria was holding. Her voice sounded too serious for someone admonishing a small child, so the relatives around us finally noticed too.
どうしたよ、夏日姉さん。
それ、何？あなた、それをどこで拾ったの？
その封筒は金蔵さんの。
Minanjo muttered that even us kids could understand why everyone seemed to be frozen solid. Wait, who was the first to notice in terms of the adults? Natsuhi. Okay. The envelope that Maria held was one of the Ushiromia family's custom-made envelopes for private use. In other words, it could only mean one thing. This envelope contained a message from Kinzo. Or does it? Dun dun dun.
ほう、どうしてそんな封筒がここにあるんだね。
こいつは面白いもんが飛び出してくるぜ。
Let me guess, Beatrice gave it to her.
ちょいとわしに見せてみ。
ダメ、マリアが読むの。マリアがみんなに読んで聞かせなさいって言われたの。
And who told you? Uncle Hideyoshi had tried to snatch the envelope out from Maria's hands, but she protected it as though hugging it and didn't let go.
秀吉兄さん、子供相手に力ずくなんていけませんよ。マリアちゃん、その封筒はどうしたの？
傘を貸してくれた時にベアトリーチェにもらった。ご飯が終わったらマリアがみんなに読んで聞かせろって言われた。
And that's why she was happy the meal was over.
マリアは魔女のメッセンジャー
Messenger?
なの。
Ah. Wait, that was in English. Is that a loan word? I don't know.
メッセンジャー？この島の魔女様は随分と洒落てるじゃねえかよ。
Battle tried to joke about it, but no one laughed.
それで中には何て書いてあるのかしら、マリアちゃん。
Maria casually opened the envelope. It was sealed only with wax, so she just had to remove the sealing wax to open it. That sealing wax fell onto the desk. Hideyoshi hastily picked it up and stared fixedly at it. He then set it in the center of the table, and Natsuhi, Kirie, and Nanjo stared at it. Imprinted in the sealing wax was one-winged eagle, which was the Ushiromia family crest, and also Kinzo's personal crest.
これは当主様の紋章？
私は金蔵さんに手紙をもらったことがあるからわかる。これは間違いなく金蔵さんの風浪だ。
でもこのお屋敷にはそれと同じ紋章がいくつもあるのでは？ 例えば風浪用のハンコのようなものがあれば、金蔵さんでなくても風浪はできるのでは？
いや、金蔵さんは風浪には必ず自分が指にしている後ろ宮家当主の証の指輪で刻印をする。
That ring which he threw outside?
この形や複雑な意匠は間違いなく金蔵さんの風浪だ。そうとは限らんよ。
Yeah, there could be a replica that was made.
親族であれば一度くらいは親父の手紙を受け取ったことはあるはずだ。
Yeah.
その風浪をもとに偽の紋章を作り、親父殿を語って刻印した可能性が否めない。
Yep.
兄貴に同感だ。
But on the other hand, we do know that the ring is loose.
風浪に刻印されている紋章がどれだけ親父のものに酷似していたとしても間違いだから、その封筒が親父のものであるという証拠にはならない。
私も全く同じよ。風浪の刻印だけでお父様の手紙だなんて決めつけることには同意できないわ。南條先生、曖昧な言葉は慎んでいただけるかしら。
これは失礼。出過ぎた口でしたな。
One after another, all of the siblings from Kraus on downwards rejected Nanjo's statement, saying that the envelope Maria held wasn't necessarily from Kinzo. They were afraid. They feared from the bottom of their hearts that Kinzo's intentions were written in there, and that it might be some announcement regarding the inheritance that would be decidedly unfavorable to them.
マリア、その封筒は傘を貸してくれた人がくれたのね。
Yes,
う
it's
ーじゃ
their
わから
choice.
ないでしょ。そうなの？
つまり魔女ベアトリーチェが傘と一緒にマリアちゃんにその封筒を。
Maria nodded forcefully.
主人に私も同感です。得体の知れない何者かが手渡した怪文書です。読むにも値します。
せめて読むくらいいいじゃねえかよ。
Battler said it to Jessica in a small voice, trying to act tough, but Natsuhi heard him clearly and glared at him with threatening eyes.
それでマリアはそのベアトリーチェに食事が終わったら読めって言われたんだな。
いいじゃないの皆さん。これはおじい様の封筒ではなくベアトリーチェの封筒。誰が書いたのかはともかく中身を聞いてからの判断でもいいんじゃないかしら。
そうやな。お父さんが書いたとは限らんが、中身が気になるんは事実や。
I feel like this is Pandora's box, where I hope it's going to be the only thing left after reading it.
マリアちゃん、さっきは無理やり取ろうとしてすまんかった。謝るからみんなの前でそれ読み上げてくれんか。
マリア、読みなさい。
As all the relatives stared fiercely at Maria, she spread the letter open with a rustle.
本当に親父の手紙だと思うか？
ありえんね。親父殿が私たちに何かを発表するときは直接でなければいつだって源氏を通してじゃないか。
Yeah, I'm inclined to believe it isn't Kinzo either.
このようなこじゃれた方法でするとは思えんね。
そうよ。マリアをメッセンジャーに？それこそお父様の趣味じゃないわよ。ローザ、これはマリアちゃんが私たちを脅かそうという何かの隠し芸なんでしょ？
マリアはそんな気の利いたことができる子じゃないわ。
Yep. Just a slight insult. The words came out of Maria's mouth, but for some reason her voice seemed different from usual. Everyone went suddenly silent.
六軒島へようこそ、後宮家の皆様方。私は金蔵様にお仕えしております当家顧問錬金術師のベアトリーチェと申します。
そんなアホな。
黙って。
I'm liking this music.
長年にわたりご契約に従いお仕えしてまいりましたが、本日金蔵様よりその契約の終了を宣告されました。
And it's probably going to get copyrighted, isn't it?
よって本日をもちまして当家顧問錬金術師のお役目を終了させていただきますことをどうかご了承くださいませ。
くだらん。ざれ言だ。
聞くに耐えません。さてここで皆様に契約の一部をご説明しなければなりません。私ベアトリーチェは金蔵様にある条件とともに莫大な黄金の貸与をいたしました。その条件とは契約終了時に黄金の全てを返還することそして利息として後ろ宮家の全てを頂戴できるというものです。
むちゃくちゃや。
初めっからむちゃくちゃだぜ。
要するにあれだろ。
Huh?
よくある悪魔の契約みたいなやつなんだろ。ほんで契約がおしまいってことになるから利子を回収に来たってわけだ。いいんや長年の退職金のつもりかな。ちゃっかりした魔女だぜ。バトラ君、今は茶化さない方がいい。
Battler made a face as if to ask, if I can't make fun of this, what can I make fun of? Some of the adults' faces were pale, while others looked dazed.
これだけをお聞きならば皆様は金蔵様のことをなんと無慈悲なのかとお嘆きにもなられるでしょう。しかし金蔵様は皆様に富と名誉を残す機会を設けるため特別な条項を追加されました。その条項が満たされた時に限り私は黄金と利子を回収する権利を永遠に失います。
Yeah, it also definitely doesn't seem like Maria would be capable of saying.
特別な条項？
それは何よ。
Also, all of them have just gone ahead and agreed with this. They're not, like, saying that it's preposterous and all, like they probably normally would.
特別条項
They've been trying to avoid it this whole time, and now they're very suddenly believing entirely, fully in it.
契約終了時にベアトリーチェは黄金と利子を回収する権利を持つ。ただし隠された契約の黄金を暴いた者が現れた時ベアトリーチェはこの権利を全て永遠に放棄しなければならない。利子の回収はこれより行いますが、もし皆様のうちの誰か一人でも特別条項を満たせたなら。
It's a collection of interest by any chance. This? All the deaths?
すでに回収した分も含めて全てお返しいたします。
Including the portion that has already been collected. That does kind of match with, like everyone dying. However, if that one person gets it, for resurrection of all the dead souls and all the gold from the Golden Land, and the resurrection of love.
なお回収の手始めとしてすでに後ろ宮本家の家督を受け継いだことを示す後ろ宮家当主の指輪をお預かりさせていただきました。封印のろうそくにてそれをどうかご確認くださいませ。
これがそうだというのか。親父が指輪を手放すなどありえん。
But he has. Kraus stared at the ceiling lights as if trying to burn a hole through it. Eva and Rudolph were doing the same over his shoulder.
確かにチェスの時金蔵さんの指何か足りんような違和感は感じ取りました。
南條先生、おぼろげな記憶でいい加減なことを言わないように。
その心眼をここでは測れないわ。 本当に指輪をおじい様は誰かに手渡したのか、この手紙が本当の話かどうかはおじい様に直接確認すればいいだけの話じゃない。
そうね、桐江さんの言う通りだわ。
果たして金蔵さんがそれを答えてくれますかな。あの人のお考えは時に人の世の常識では測りかねますからな。
That's one way of putting it.
どのみちざれ言の域を出んね第一、黄金幻想自体が親父殿のまやかしだ。ありもしない黄金の話を始めるのはお前たちだけで十分だ。
And are they all going to think that the other sibling is behind this? In any case, I will be ending it there for today. Yep. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments, and things are really kicking off. Until next time, see ya.